Hi, everyone. Dan Ray here, along with Phil Amaru of the Commonwealth Advisory Group, conveniently located, by the way, in Newton, Massachusetts. We'll get to that in a minute. Phil, Commonwealth Advisory Group, it sounds very bureaucratic, but it is a company, a business, an estate planning business, been around for a while.
Yeah, we've been around for about 24 years now. And it's not a big, huge company. It's actually a boutique practice where me and my partner, Laureen, we head it up and we make sure that people are protected if they need a nursing home. So if we'll do all your estate planning, plus we'll do what we call your disability planning. So if you end up in a nursing home, they can't take what you have.
We want to get to all of this. This is your specialty.
This is all we do.
There are a lot of lawyers out there who have what they call a general practice, but this is your specialty. So people should listen to what you say, because you and Laureen have really worked in this for a long time.
And that's what we have. We've committed ourselves to protecting people for when they need or they're in that type of circumstance.
You must enjoy this practice because you're helping people protect their assets. That's really kind of the umbrella of what we're talking about here, right?
It really is. So the nice thing about what we do is the middle class guy that's basically worked his whole life, fought for the country, helped build the country, he's expected to lose everything if he doesn't plan. So we step in and we make sure that guy or that woman is safe and protected. So that's the nice thing for us.
So we're not talking here about the uber wealthy.
No.
Okay, because
Right.
they have assets, so much assets that they can almost self-insure, if you will, or self-plan.
They set up a nursing home right in their house.
If they have
So
to.
it doesn't affect them at all.
Okay.
It's the middle class guy we work with and we protect.
So a lot of people, as they're working, they don't think about this. They're in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s. They're still pretty healthy. They know they're not going to live to 200, but they're not thinking. Why is it important for them to be thinking about this?
So Dan, this is the hardest thing we have to do. We have to persuade that person that feels good, healthy, has a million other things they have to do. We have to persuade them that that's when they have to do it. And that's when they have to sit down and do the planning. Because if they don't do it then and they wait, and then all of a sudden there's something that pops up, they come in and they say, Phil, Laureen, you got to save everything we have. Well, that ship kind of sailed.
Right.
So now we're in a crisis situation, which is a lot more difficult. We want to pre-plan.
Okay, so how do people avoid that crisis situation?
How do they do that? They come in early and they're going to pre-plan. So we're going to do a trust. And we do a trust that will protect them. Now, they keep control. They don't lose their house. They're not gifting everything away. They stay in control. They're still the boss. But after 5 years, everything's protected. So if we put their house in the trust, it's still their house. They want to do anything, they can do anything. They want to sell the house, they can sell the house. The kids want to move in, they can say, no, you already moved out, that type of thing. Because we
not yet.
We all know our kids are all trying to move back.
Boomerang kids, sure.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But, so what we do is we make sure that everything's protected. After 5 years, it's safe. They can't touch it.
And what you're concerned about, obviously, is the amount of money that people will have to spend if they have a debilitating circumstance, an accident, something bad disease hits,
Right.
and they're going to find themselves not just in a hospital, but eventually in a nursing home. And that's where the money really goes away that you're trying to protect.
$16,000 a month right now. And that figure
That's
just...
$200,000 a year.
Yeah, and grows. And I don't care how big your estate is. Losing $200,000 a year will wipe out just about every estate. So it's extremely important that you come in and you protect that stuff. You want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. You don't want to come into the office and say, oh my God, my husband, my wife, my mom, my dad just went to a nursing home. They're going to take everything I have, try to save it. You don't want to have that conversation with us. The conversation you want to have with us is, listen, Phil, we did the trust. It was 5 years ago. Is everything safe? Yes, it is. That's the conversation you want to have.
Why is 5 years the magic number?
Statutorily. So the legislature, all right, has come out and said, listen, you have to do this planning, all right, 5 years in advance. So what they said was, the middle class, all right, are you able to protect yourself? Yes, you are. But there's two contingencies. The contingencies are, one, you have to do a trust and it has to be done properly. And two, it has to be done 5 years in advance. Why? If they didn't have that waiting period, everyone that was walking into a nursing home would just give everything away.
Sure.
So what they said is you can't do that.
So there's a clawback
There
if you
is.
try to do that.
That's
Okay,
right.
we understand that.
So
Okay,
we want to make sure that you've done it 5 years.
Okay, so how intimidating, how complicated is it? Someone walks in the office and says, Phil, I'm in my 40s, my 50s, my 60s, I want a plan here. How many days do I have to come in and sit with you and show you everything? What's it? How much of my time is going to be taken up by the magic that you can do?
So it's not intimidating at all. You're going to come in, you're going to sit with us. We're going to get your facts, your circumstances. We're going to figure out what you want to accomplish, and then we're going to formulate a plan for you. And once we do that, we have a big whiteboard in the office, and we're going to educate you. So we're different than most. We sit down, we spend that time with you, we educate you so that you understand the process. A lot of attorneys will sit there and go, listen, this is what you need, here, sign here. That's not what we do. All right, we educate you, we make sure you understand so that you feel good about what you're doing. And also, you're going to tell all your friends.
Oh, sure.
So-
It's an intimidating process, even for attorneys, because when you start talking, it's scary because you're contemplating some bad things to
Right.
protect yourself.
Exactly.
But it's intimidating as well because, wills, trusts, estates. Some people think, I got a will, I'm all set, no problem. Did a will 30 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Not
not so. I mean, you had a great line, where there's a will isn't always the best way, and that's correct. So a lot of people come in with the will, and they say that, I'm all set, I have a will. They don't even realize with a will, you have to go to probate. All right, and we're trying to avoid probate because probate is a full-blown court action. So we don't want to have to do that. When you're going to probate, you're paying a lawyer hourly. You don't want to do that. All right, no one wants to pay the lawyer hourly, okay? So we can avoid that, which is a nice thing. All right, we can avoid that. And a lot of people say, I did a will. I'm protected from the nursing home. Not the case, okay? So a will is a good thing to have. Why? Because you say this is the person that's going to manage my estate, and this is who's going to get my stuff and in what shares. So it's a good thing to have, because if you don't have that, the state's going to tell you who's going to manage your estate.
The
who's
intestacy
gonna get-
statute, right.
That's correct.
So clearly, you should have a will, but on top of that, you need some sort of a trust.
Correct.
And this particular trust has been developed by you and others over time.
Yes.
You understand this inside and out.
Yes.
You explain it. How expensive is this process? I mean, I'm not looking for a specific number, but
Right, and here's another thing, it's not very expensive. Everyone thinks, oh my God, it's
Yeah.
gonna be, just a ton of money. It's not. And it's all designed, the price is based on what you need. All right, so a lot of people call and say, how much is it gonna cost? And I'm like, I don't know yet. You're gonna come in, we're gonna look at your facts and circumstances. Once I have your facts and circumstances, then I'll be able to say, you need this, you need this, you need this, and this is what it's gonna cost. So, we give you at the end, we give you a flat fee. You'll know exactly how much it will cost, all right? No hourly fees. One time, you'll pay that, and then we're kind of on the road to protection, so to speak.
what's it cost to get this assessment? Let's say I want to come in and I want to say, Phil, I want to sit down with you. Obviously, your time is lawyers sell their time.
Sure.
Okay? How expensive is this process for me to sort of dip my toe into the pool?
So what will happen essentially is you'll come in. If you're going to work with me, we don't charge for the consultation.
Consultation's free.
If you're working with me. If you're coming in, though, just for the education,
Gotcha.
all right, I'm
Gotcha.
going to sit down, I'm going to spend that time, I'm going to educate you. Then we're going to outline your plan.
Right.
So I have the big whiteboard, like I said. We're going to outline your plan for you, all right? You'll have that. So there is value with that. We do charge $300 for the consultation for that if you want to come in for the education and the outline.
Well, that's pretty inexpensive in of itself.
yeah.
I mean, that information is really valuable.
By the time they leave, they know more than most attorneys after that 1 hour, because we're going to walk them right through the process. And we're going to basically demystify all those rules, regulations, and laws, and we're going to put it into regular language so that they understand it.
Is there any reason someone out there should say, I don't have to go in and see Phil and Lorraine. I'm all set. There's no reason if you have some assets to protect.
Absolutely, there is no reason, because if they don't come in and something happens, those assets that they have will not be protected and will be gone.
Well, Phil, I think this is a great explanation for people. I think I've done it. I think everyone who I would suggest, you got to do this. You have to do this. Again, if you're the uber wealthy and you got $200 million, don't
don't
worry
need
about
it.
it. If you have nothing, literally nothing, well, there's probably not much to protect.
Correct.
But if you've worked, you're in that middle class, you got to get in and talk to you and Lorraine. Anything
do.
else you need to add?
We love protecting people. That's what we do. And so we want you to come in and just take a look. There's no obligation. Just take a look and see if this works for you to get your things protected. Our people, after the consultations, usually go, oh my God, I am so glad I came. I feel so good that I've done this. And, they're happy when they leave.
It's a weight off your shoulders, a
It
weight
is.
off your mind. And
Yeah.
I can hear in your voice, and I can see in your eyes the passion that you have for this purpose.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, you sure do.
Yeah.
So, Phil, you guys are located perfectly in Newton, off 128, easy to find, easy to
Simple-
get to.
Simple to find. Off the highway,
Okay.
second right, you're here.
All right. So, if they want to call you and set up an appointment, what's the number?
1-800-705-1415. Give us a call. We'll help you. We'll make sure you're taken care of.
And just throw that number one more time. 1-800.
705-1415.
All right, perfect. Commonwealth Advisory Group, you need to talk with them and find out how to protect your assets and your family's assets, because if you don't, either the Commonwealth or the nursing home will take those assets from you. This is important, folks. I hope you listen. I hope you understand what we've talked about. They make it simple. They make it easy. Commonwealth Advisory Group.